G'day guys, it's Paul from Wonder Roo Caravans, and today we have a special guest, Chris Boon here. Chris is going to tell us a little bit about his van, a little bit about himself, a little bit about your adventures, and maybe we'll do a walk around at the end and show us some of the extra things that you've done. Shoot away, Chris.
I know. So, my relationship with Wonder Roo started out when I Googled a 19'6" caravan with recliner chairs. As you can see, we're sitting in here, and they're the best things I've ever had in a van. So I've done four-wheel driving, off-road car race and all that sort of stuff. Travelled all over Australia, seen some pretty awesome places, but never had the time to stop and look. So we decided we'd get the van and we'd spend 18 months going back and having a look around them places. So we've done some trial runs in Tasmania, where I come from, and we've tried to go places where people say you can't take caravans. And to this stage, we haven't had a failure. And we've been to some pretty awesome places. Trial Harbour, Bagot Point down near Swansea, Macquarie Heads, Policeman's Point, Pioneer, all through them sort of places. Yeah, so the van has done everything we've asked it to do without any hassles. And the people at Wonder Roo have done the same. So as we travelled along, when we first started out, we had the van with the system that was in it, electrical wise. Everything worked great. We're happy with everything. We had a generator. The thing we found fairly quickly was that no matter where you go, a generator can become rude fairly quickly. You can pull up in the middle of nowhere, and the next morning you get up and someone else has pulled up in the middle of nowhere beside you, and you can't use your generator. So we then decided to upgrade the van and put a inverter, 3,000 watt inverter system in it, some more solar and some extra battery power, which we left as a standalone system from what Wonder Roo already put in, because we were 100% happy with what was in the van and working and the way it was controlled with the Boon Pro system.
You bought this particular van. It was a stock van at that particular time.
So virtually it was, I suppose, heading towards the end of COVID when I started making some phone calls, and I've called and it was explained to me that they had this van of stock and you'd used it for a Go RV video promotion type of thing. So I could look at the van straight away online, which I was pretty impressed with. And it was available for sale.
So that's why it had that battery system that's currently in it. And then with your travels, you decided, okay, I need some more.
The van was obviously built or designed for someone else, and however the system worked, it was a stock van. So we bought it at that time, and we were quite happy with the generator idea at that time. But as we travelled more, we thought it'd be nice to get up in the morning like we did this morning, hit a button, turn the kettle on, fire the aircon up and cool the van down and not have to start a generator. And so, it was a great thing. And it is an option that you can option if you want to build a van. And
was that something that you implemented yourself into this van?
But I have to say that the help I received, right down to having to drill a hole in the roof and knowing what was in there before I started, and just the way I fitted it from the guys, just nothing was a problem. So and they've helped me.
Design team sent you some photos.
Design team sent me photos of what I was going to find,
knowing where you were going to drill, what you were going to do. Yep.
So it just made life so easy. Another modification we've done to the van, which is not really a modification, just a preference choice, was a composting toilet, because of the time periods we travel for and the places we get without a dump station, and also just.
Have you got to use that? Have you used that?
Yeah, we've used it. We've only used it for 3 days now, but we've found that because the system runs a fan in it, which extracts any odours out of the actual unit itself, you don't get that acidy type smell when you lift the lid of the toilet and that sort of thing. And So at this stage, yeah.
Was it a Nature's Head or was it a?
No, this is an OGO one, so it's an electronic agitator, electronic fan. Look, removed the other toilet in probably 25 minutes, installed this one in 25 minutes with very basic tooling and 2 wires to hook up. Another plus was that they're a waterless toilet, so then one of your biggest things with travelling Australia and that is carrying enough water with you. So that's just one little bit less water we don't use to flush and that now. So, so that was a very simple situation where we just disconnected a T-piece from underneath the van and put an elbow in. No water anymore going to that system and all good.
Water counts because a lot of people talk about running out of power, but most of the time you run out of...
100%. I would say that you run out of water before you run out of power. That's my opinion.
You've got the right system.
And we've got good water in the van, but and you say, well, you can put more water tanks in, but then we all have this trouble now where GVM weights and the vehicles we're towing the caravans with, you've got to be right on the ball there now because there's so many laws and that about. We went to not the trouble, but we put the effort in to have the van taken to Wyatt Ford down in Tassie and have everything checked. It was great to hear that the van was probably one of the best vans he's ever seen as far as balance front to rear and balance side to side for the way the van was built and set up and the suspension system. So that was a credit to the way the van was built. We didn't find we had to start loading the van oddly to counteract a poorly balanced van. Everything was spot on, and as we added things, it added it to the right spot. So once again, very happy with that. We've towed it in some pretty interesting places, and we've backed it into some...
I've heard some stories.
We've got it into some places where, we've had to get it out of. And, but, it's not a problem. So, everything works well. One of the big questions we always get asked is, now you've had the van for 12 months, what would you change? And for a van that we ordered out of stock, there's not really, probably the only thing you'll see a little bit different if you look at another van, we've got a full-size mattress in there, which nothing really, but that's just we chose to do that because we're going to live in this van now for 18 months. It's not as if we go home at the end of the weekend, so the comfort and that of it. And, there was nothing wrong with the mattress that was in there, but...
It's a bit longer.
This one's, because of my height, this one here is 120 mil longer and just a little bit higher for the padding and that sort of stuff. So,
You're off for 18 months?
Yeah, so...
Whereabouts?
We're heading up through South Australia now, so we'll do, I think, Horsham, Carlin Bend, Port Augusta, where we're meeting some friends. To put an OGO toilet in his van and to fit a stone stomper onto the front of the van and the ute on my van and his, and then we're going to do the Flinders Ranges for 2 or 3 days and into Maree and then into the Birdsville track. Of course, 517 k's of dirt and gravel to end up at Birdsville to the Big Red Bash. Bit of a concert out in the desert there, so we spend 5 days at the concert. And then we've got 2 or 3 days camel racing and pig racing and racing anything else you can think of. And, and then we're going to head back to Maree and weather permitted and road conditions permitted. We're going to do the Unadada track through on the Painted Desert and all that and into Cooper Pedy to get the metal detectors out and make our fortune. So that's that part of the trip. We'll then continue on to Catherine, Darwin, all that area up in there, and we'll do Broome, Western Australia, back across to South Australia, back down to Victoria around mid-December.
Yep.
We then have something we have to go back to Tasmania for at Christmas time just to sort out quickly. So the van will come back to Wonder Roo, have a full service and check over.
And that's what it's here for today as well.
And that's what it's here for today. We've had some pretty flash jerry can holders fitted today, great, which I had to have. So, and then hopefully at Christmas time we'll have their new rear toolbox fitted as well, which I've just said I can't take it away today. But anyway, yeah, so and that'll be done. And then we'll come back early February and head up through New South Wales up to the top. Cans are all down that area, and we'll come back down a bit and chop and change round and end up in the Cape York area about July, August of 2025. To meet some other friends that are travelling from Tasmania, and we'll go and do Cape York, take the van up as far as we can, as far as safe, and just head in and do the Cape York and hopefully have a look at the telly track and all that sort of thing. So
I think we'll have some updates as we go. Maybe when you come back in December, we might have another video for you guys to have a listen to and see how the van's fared in at that
we've
time.
Started up a bit of a Facebook page. I quite often post on the Wonder Roo one and on the Wonder Roo owners one. We've also started up a group called the Wonder Roo's All Aussie Adventures with my wife and dog. So
it's good to get it out there and
we just get photos out there of what we've done and what we've found.
So they can ask questions.
How
the van's travelling.
It's good to ask questions and talk to people. We've talked to a lot of people. And I think doing this sort of trip that we're doing with the gravel roads and the data track and them sort of things, what we've taken away from it is speed is your biggest enemy. So don't worry about if it's going to take an extra day to get somewhere. Pull up and have a sleep for the night and just travel at a lower speed.
Yeah.
And
common sense.
And your van will like it a lot better. Your tow vehicle will like it a lot better. Drop your tyre pressures on roads like that. And just in general, take your time and enjoy. Yeah. You don't want to speed through the state, through the country if you're going to look at it all. So
that's right.
Just take your time with the vans and everything, and go from there. So
no, it sounds really interesting. Quite jealous.
That's the one comment. We get so many people ask us what we're going to do, and we tell them what we're up to, and it's just so many people are jealous of it. And if I've got to give one bit of advice, don't wait till you can afford to, because you can't afford to. Yeah. Just do it. Get yourself in a situation, make a plan, and go and do it. So, because we've found some pretty amazing places just in the time we've been doing it. So,
I just got to let me bosses know that I'm coming with you.
Just book one of the vans. So
that's really interesting.
Pretty well it. So we're traveling with a dog as well, which for people that want to do that, you'll be amazed these days. So many places know that that's what you're doing. You're traveling full time, and a lot of people have got pets. One of my mates travels with a dog and a cat. He reckons it's the dearest dog kennel he's ever bought, to travel around with his dog and his cat. But and we've found some pretty amazing places. We went to a pub down in Tassie one day, and I think I ordered some wedges, and the wife ordered some spring rolls just for a bit of a snack. And when they come out, they brought out a porterhouse steak and chips for the dog to sit in the pub and have a porterhouse steak and chips.
Oh, wow.
So, it's not a bad thing to travel with your dog. And so just look after them. And once again, if you take your time a bit with them and let them out for a walk and that. So, don't be scared of heading off.
You've got some ideas. I think your dog slept.
Yeah, he slept
inside. You've got some ideas with your awning, or you've already set that up. Maybe we can have a look at the van internally, and then maybe just do a quick walk around and see some of the extras that you've done with that.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yep. Maybe have a let us know what you've done in here. You can have a quick pan around, and then we'll do a pan around outside. I know these recliners are absolutely amazing.
Yes, no, they're awesome. So just some of the.
So would you go, if you had to build another van, would you go with recliners?
100%.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, no, that's and it's something that we definitely.
Sorry, I'd keep.
We definitely we feel we will build another van because so many people have been interested in this van that would say we'd probably pass it on to one of our friends after this trip, and we will build another van. But definitely we'll have, no matter what the layout is, we'll have recliners in it. So
you're going to build another van with us?
Definitely 100% build another van with you guys. That goes without saying. And I think one of the things I was so set on was the 19'6" build, but I think after having a van and the manoeuvrability of them, I'd go to a 20'6", I think, and just a little bit more room in a few places. But for 90% of people, they're probably fine. I'm a bigger guy, as you can see, but as far as, we're very comfortable living in a van.
With these chairs, when you're travelling, do they?
What we do is turn them round and just lift the bed.
Oh, and tuck them under.
Slide them under the bed. We've just got a little strap that goes from one side of the bed round them. We find on 99% of roads, we don't have any issue, but obviously when we go into some of these tracks, gravel roads and that sort of stuff, we turn them round and two of them fit placing underneath the bed with a little strap around them to hold them.
So you can leave them in this place most of the time?
Most of the time they sit in that place without a problem at all. I'd say in 20,000 Ks of travel, 10,000 trays of travel so far, probably put them underneath there twice. We're doing that. The roads are a little bit like it.
You've done a fair bit of travel.
We have done a fair bit of travel. There's one bit of advice we will give, and that is if you have a glass tray in the bottom of your microwave, it still to this day beats me how it gets out of there, but it has got out of there twice. So, we just take it out and put it in a drawer with a bit of a pad there and
pack it away.
Yeah, so that's something that we found.
Your scupper, is that your design, maybe?
Yeah, so this is the scupper vent, which is just try and stop dust. There's a vent there that you open and it pressurizes the caravan. I decided one day I went and bought a plastic printer off Facebook Marketplace and thought, well, the only problem I could see with the scupper vent idea was that when a truck passed the other way or a vehicle, they would bring dust with them. So we've put a filter out of a Briggs & Stratton motor in there, and that filters the dust. Any dust that is created gets filtered by that system, and it was a cheaper and easier way of setting up a dust reduction system.
Didn't have to run any cables.
Didn't have to run any wiring. Didn't have to do all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Some of the systems out there I think are good, but that's just something we thought we'd try with what we had.
Yeah.
And to this, we haven't had any trouble with dust. So we're hoping that it all stays the same.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got a couple of dusty roads to travel. As you can see, the wife loves to throw pillows and everything like that and keeps the van. And it's not just like this for the video. It is like this every morning when you get out of bed. I get kicked out so the van can be cleaned and tidied. And
you're running Starlink as well?
We run Starlink, which we actually chose to run Starlink on our ute.
Oh, yeah.
And we've gone to the Gen 3 flat dish. And the reason we put it on the ute was you pull up a lot of times and you park your caravan and you head off exploring. And a couple of times we've got ourselves in a bit of a tight pickle in an exploring episode where we've had no phone service and we could quite easily be stuck, and it'd be a bit useless having Starlink sitting on your caravan.
That's really, really clever.
So we've set the Starlink and the inverter, the router up in the ute, runs off a little battery there, and from 30 metres away, we can still pick up the Starlink inside the van. I can park the ute in the garage at home and pick the Starlink up in the house. So that's the way we decided to go. We've got mobile Starlink that works while you're on the road, so you can make phone calls while you're travelling with it, which you shouldn't be driving and making phone calls, but you can do. So that's just that.
Gen 3's got RJ45 connection.
All RJ45 connectors.
Yeah.
So, and that makes it a lot easier. The old activator type system, your 240 volt power plugged into your modem, but it had 24 volts, 36 volts and 56 volts being used out of the modem to do different jobs, where the new Gen 3 is a separate power pack, which is just 240 to 56 volts.
Yeah.
And for a very small fee, a very small price, there's a unit that you can buy, which is 12 volts to 56 volts. So then you're not running an inverter and you're running it purely off 12 volts and it uses virtually no power to run run the Starlink. A lot of the power used to run Starlink is to run the inverter to run the Starlink, where we're running ours off 12 volts. So, and it's like under $100 for the unit you need to convert it to 12 volts. So, which we found, and it works really good. So, yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll have a pan outside and have a look and see what you've done outside. There's the Ogo toilet. I can see just there. All right, Chris, we're on the outside of your van now, and I know you've done a few things out here that are a little bit different. One that we were talking about inside was about the dog.
Yeah.
The enclosure for the dog. So I suppose we can start from there.
So what we've done is we've installed the Aussie Traveller anti-flat kit on the awning, which is a good addition there. And then we've put some press studs here and some curtain tracks where we've made out of the privacy wall shade, we've made a compartment out here for virtually the dog's room. It has a floor in it that sits on top of the walls, as if indoor in this position here, so we can go in. And it lets you have the dog in there without him having to be tied up, because everywhere sort of you need to have your dog on a lead. So that way he's got his bed in here, he can live in here for night time. And it's a nice lightweight option that fits in a plastic bin and takes about 20 minutes to set up, and you've got a fully enclosed room that's nice and light. It lets the sun in, it breathes. That's
really important, I think, that it's lightweight as well. So there's more stuff that you're putting in there that's heavier.
Yep.
Sort of gets in the, adds to that weight, I suppose.
And it comes to that weight where we're always
worried about
that extra weight and everything. So we've put the old plumber's fishing rod holder there.
Going to be doing away with that come December this year.
Yeah, but December this year it's going to have a new toolbox. But today we have fitted the lockable jerry can holders, which will look nice on the new rear bar when it's all fitted up. The Camp Boss garbage bag.
Yep.
We found that's handy. Put your rubbish in there and you can take it with you, so you're not moving it around in the campsites.
Yep.
And then from there, we've really, that's the vent that was installed for the Ogo toilet, so that's about all the modification was on the outside of the van. That's where you normally get your cassette out of. And then we've added the extra.
This is the system.
So this is the system where there the batteries we added and the inverter.
So the standard system stayed in the van.
The standard system is there. Everything worked there. I didn't want to interfere with the standard system because it all worked very well. It done everything we wanted it to do. So then we just added this system here, which is a REDARC inverter, the batteries, and a REDARC shunt. So virtually that's all monitored off my phone. Same as with the BM Pro system. It's got the BC300 shunt there, which everything's monitored and controlled off my phone as well. But
so with the system that we had initially, that you didn't have any issues with running your lights and
and that's why I wanted to leave that system alone, because it done everything really well. The BM Pros, sometimes a little bit misunderstood. I think maybe a good bit of advice when you get your new van with this system in it is to read your manuals and that first, because you'll find a lot of your problems aren't actually problems. Right, just read the manuals, and we're really, really happy with the system that's in the van, and that's why we didn't want to go trying to cross and modify things and remove wiring and that. This was a simple modification because everything come from the new solar panels down through the back of the fridge and into here, and the solar chargers in here, and it's just a matter of running some cables out to the front.
Just with the solars, you had 200 amp hour solar panel originally.
I had two 200.
Or two 200s.
Yep, so I had 420, I think they were with the standards. And then we added another 420, 450 or 475 with the new.
Charging up these batteries.
And then the new solar panels purely work this one. We found with air conditioning in cooling, on a nice day, we can actually gain. So it will charge the batteries as well as run the aircon.
How long are you running the aircon for?
We've run the aircon for up to 7 hours now on a nice day, and we got to 98% battery.
So you actually were charging?
We were charging and gathering power. So, and that's all to do with your solar. If you've got the right amount of solar, don't put batteries are expensive, so I don't feel the emphasis to have such a lot of battery power as long as you've got the solar to cover it. So yes, you can't run on solar of a night time, but
yeah,
that's the way we've found it to work.
There's always ways of utilising the power at the right time as well.
Yeah, it's kettles, toasters, they're big power consumptions, but a toaster takes 3 minutes to cook your toast, so it's not a big power consumption for a long time. So, like you just said, it's the time you use the power, you use it at the right time, and it's not as bad. But yeah, the REDARC system is all RCD protected and wires in through your plug, so it makes an automatic choice to take Caravan, your power, or your REDARC. That sort of thing. So that was a big mod we've done to assist us with what we wanted to do.
So you got the, looks like you got Alco
suspension in it.
Alco suspension. So, full off-road Alco X.
Alco X. And then you got Mickey Thompson tyres.
Yep.
Which are a great addition standard. They were obviously an option on the van that it was optioned up with. And we've also had the boys fit a trauma gas heater.
Yep.
Which, that works really well.
And I know you changed your antenna.
Yeah, we went
because of the space.
Yeah, so when we went
up there,
when we went to the new solar panels, the old wind-up antenna was going to sit on the solar panel, so we went to the Cowfish new van antenna, and can highly recommend that. Even when you pull up at a camp somewhere, you hit tune on your TV. Takes a couple of minutes and you've got all your channels there ready to go. You're not winding one up and risking not putting it down and trying to turn it round to find your station. That just picks up 360 degrees. There's no adjusting. So, yeah, I think that's something that is fitted on most of the new vans now. So, so apart from that, it's about all we've done, really. Is
that your system up there? Is that your...
Yeah, so this is the Starlink system. Just a permanent dish and the solar panel up on the roof. That's where my router and everything sits in there. So we just set it up. That's your Starlink router, and that's the 12-volt converter. And just wired it all up with the battery and the little fridge up in there.
Now, if people want to have a chat and ask you some questions on your Facebook page, they can do that.
That's not a problem at all. I'm more than willing. I don't mind having a chat. So, so we've just got the ute set up fairly well now. And,
and you're off today, yeah?
Off today. We're heading to Horsham today for 2 days and then, cruising on through from there. So...
it's great. It's great. Well, we look forward to seeing you back in December.
Yeah.
And having a chat then and maybe doing another video like we said. And then you're off again. And maybe when you come back again,
we'll do another one.
And we might have another van by then.
Yeah, you might have one built for me to pick up. And I'll, we'll definitely, we might even put a couple of videos together and shoot them back down to you.
That sounds awesome as well.
Yeah, so
that'll be a great
travel along the way and go from there.
Yep.
But definitely looking forward to doing this, and it's been made possible, and it's a great thing. So
it was a pleasure having you here today and showing your van and your insight into what you've done and what you're about to do, and keep us up to date. Again, Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you've got any questions, you can jump on his site, which is called again
the Wonder Roo's Aussie Adventure.
Yep, give us a call as well. And if you need some more information from Chris, I'm sure he's happy to pass it on as well. Thanks, guys. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.